The strongest minds never raise their voice or rush to prove anything. They stay calm when others react, and that calm quietly shifts power. Most people today live on emotional autopilot, pulled by comments, disrespect, and the need to explain themselves. Every reaction reveals a weakness, and every explanation hands control to someone else. Stoic philosophy was built for moments like this, not to make life comfortable, but to make the mind unbreakable. When you master your inner world, outside chaos loses its grip on you. Silence stops manipulation. Discipline replaces anxiety with direction. Detachment frees you from the hunger for approval. A mind trained this way doesn't intimidate through force. It unsettles through stability. People sense they cannot move you, rush you, or shake you. That is why they adjust. Today, you'll learn how to build a stoic mind so strong it stands firm under pressure and remains steady in every room. Stay with me and begin training today. 1. A strong mind doesn't react. Most people think strength shows up in loud responses, quick comebacks, or emotional dominance. In reality, the fastest reaction is usually the weakest position. When someone provokes you and you react immediately, you reveal where you are vulnerable. You show them exactly which buttons to press next time. A Stoic understands something most people never learn. Reaction is surrender. The moment you lose control of your emotions, you hand control to whoever triggered them. That is why manipulation works so easily on people who pride themselves on being real or expressive. They confuse honesty with exposure. Epictetus warned that events themselves are powerless. Only our judgments give them force. If an insult ruins your mood, it is not because the insult was strong, but because your inner discipline was weak. This idea feels uncomfortable because it removes excuses. It places responsibility exactly where Stoicism insists it belongs, inside you. When you stop reacting, something strange happens. The dynamic flips. The person who expected a reaction suddenly feels uncertain. They were prepared for anger, defensiveness, or explanation, but they receive silence and composure instead. This is not passivity. It is psychological positioning. Think about arguments that escalated in your life. They rarely grew because of facts. They grew because someone reacted emotionally and pulled the other person into the same state. A Stoic refuses to enter that arena, not because they are afraid, but because they see no value in fighting where control is lost. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that calm is always available, even in chaos. Even under pressure. That calm is not weakness. It is the ability to pause while others panic. And the pause is where power lives. Practically, this means building a small gap between stimulus and response. When provoked, you do not answer immediately. You breathe. You observe what you are feeling without obeying it. You ask one simple question: is this worth my energy? Most of the time, the answer is no. This pause protects your dignity. It prevents regret. It trains your nervous system to remain steady instead of reactive. Over time, people notice that you are harder to pull off center. They test you less. And when they do test you, it fails. A strong mind does not need to win every exchange. It needs to remain intact. By refusing to react, you keep ownership of your thoughts, your tone, and your direction. That ownership is what unsettles people who rely on emotional leverage. Remember this: anyone can react. Few can remain composed, and the one who stays composed controls the situation without raising their voice. 2. Emotional control is psychological armor. Most people believe emotions are something that simply happened to them. They feel anger, anxiety, or insecurity and assume those feelings must be expressed or acted on. This belief leaves them exposed. Every visible emotion becomes an entry point for pressure, manipulation, or control. The Stoic sees emotions differently. They are signals, not commands. Feeling something does not mean you must obey it. The moment you learn this distinction, your inner world becomes far harder to penetrate. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. This wasn't meant as comfort. It was meant as a responsibility. If your mood depends on what others say or do, then others decide how you live. That is not freedom. People who lack emotional control often think they are being authentic. In reality, they are predictable. Predictability is weakness in social dynamics. When someone knows what will upset you, flatter you, or provoke you, they gain leverage without effort. Emotional discipline removes that leverage. Notice how people test boundaries. They tease, criticize, ignore, or push just enough to see your reaction. If you react emotionally, they learn something about you. If you remain steady, they learn nothing. And uncertainty makes people cautious. Stoicism does not demand that you suppress emotions. It demands that you observe them. Anger arises, you notice it. Fear appears, you acknowledge it. But you do not let these emotions decide your behavior. This separation is what creates psychological armor. Think about situations where you felt embarrassed, disrespected, or anxious. The damage usually didn't come from the event itself. It came from what you did next. The defensive explanation, the emotional message, the impulsive response you later wished you could take back. A Stoic trains for these moments before they happen. When emotions rise, they slow the process instead of speeding it up. They name the emotion internally. They remind themselves that feelings are temporary and judgments are optional. Then they choose a response aligned with their values, not their impulse. This practice changes how others experience you. People sense when they cannot easily read or manipulate someone. They feel the absence of emotional hooks. They notice that pressure tactics don't work the way they expect. Over time, they adjust their behavior around you. Emotional control also protects your energy. Constant reactions drain focus and clarity. When you stop feeding every feeling, your mind becomes quieter and more directed. Decisions improve. Confidence stabilizes. A mind guarded by emotional discipline does not harden into coldness. It becomes selective. You still feel, but you choose when and how to express it. That choice is strength. Psychological armor is not about dominance over others. It is about sovereignty over yourself. And once you have that, no one can use your emotions against you again. 3. Silence forces others to reveal themselves. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill it, explain themselves, justify their actions, or smooth things over. This instinct comes from fear, not politeness. Silence removes the script they expect you to follow. A Stoic understands that silence is not emptiness. It is pressure. When you stop reacting and stop explaining, the other person is forced to continue alone. And in that space, they reveal who they really are. Think about moments when you chose not to respond right away. The other person often talked more. They clarified their position, contradicted themselves, or exposed their intention. Silence turns the spotlight outward. Words stop hiding motives and behavior takes over. People who manipulate rely on engagement. They need your attention, your emotion, your participation. When you go quiet, they lose their leverage. They may become impatient, defensive, or overly friendly. None of these reactions are accidental. They are signals. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote that what people do speaks louder than what they say. Silence allows you to observe those actions clearly. When you are busy talking, defending, or proving, you miss patterns. When you are quiet, patterns become obvious. Stoic silence is not avoidance, it is restraint. You are choosing not to feed situations that offer no return. You are choosing observation over performance. This alone changes how others experience you. Watch what happens when you stop explaining your choices. Some people respect it immediately. Others push harder, demanding reasons and reassurance. This difference tells you everything you need to know about the relationship. Respect adapts to silence. Control resists it. Silence also protects your inner balance. Every explanation pulls you back into emotional labor. You start managing perceptions instead of managing yourself. Stoicism rejects this trade. Your peace is more valuable than being understood by everyone. When someone tries to provoke you and you remain silent, the tension shifts. They expected a reaction. Instead, they meet calm presence. This forces self-reflection, even if they never admit it. People fear what they cannot read or influence. Practicing silence does not mean never speaking. It means speaking deliberately. When you do speak, your words carry weight because they are rare and measured. Silence sharpens language instead of weakening it. Over time, people learn that pushing you leads nowhere. Drama finds easier targets. Manipulation searches for softer ground. What remains are interactions based on clarity and respect. A strong mind does not rush to fill space, it allows space to work. In that space, others expose their intentions, their patience, and their character. You do not need to confront them. Their behavior speaks for you. Silence is not the absence of power. It is power refusing to waste itself. 4. Discipline is the aura people fear. Discipline rarely announces itself. It shows up quietly in how you move, how you speak, and how you handle pressure. People sense it before they understand it. That is why discipline creates an aura that unsettles those who lack it. Most people rely on motivation. They act when they feel inspired and stop when they don't. This makes them inconsistent, emotional, and easy to read. A Stoic does the opposite. They act according to principle, not mood. Seneca wrote that difficulties strengthen the mind the way labor strengthens the body. Discipline is built the same way, not through dramatic effort, but through repetition, showing up when it's boring, following through when no one is watching. This consistency changes how others perceive you. People trust what is predictable, but they fear what is steady. Steadiness means you are not swayed by pressure, trends, or emotional swings. It signals inner order, and inner order is rare. Discipline also removes the need to talk about yourself. You don't explain your values, you live them. You don't defend your direction, you continue walking it. This silence backed by action is far more powerful than verbal confidence. Think about people who intimidate without trying. They don't rush, they don't complain, they don't negotiate with weakness. Their presence feels grounded because their habits are grounded. That grounding comes from discipline practiced daily, not intensity performed occasionally. Stoic discipline often includes voluntary discomfort, choosing effort over ease, doing what is necessary instead of what feels good. This trains the mind to remain stable when conditions are uncomfortable, and when real pressure arrives, it feels familiar rather than overwhelming. Others sense this resilience. They feel that you are not easily shaken. They notice that stress does not make you collapse or overreact. This creates a quiet authority. Not dominance, but gravity. Discipline also protects your self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, even a small one, you reinforce trust inwardly. That trust shows externally. You stop seeking validation because you already believe your own word. People respond differently to someone who does not need reassurance. A Stoic does not aim to appear disciplined. They aim to be disciplined. The appearance follows naturally. When you remove excuses, drama loses interest in you. When you remove inconsistency, manipulation loses its foothold. Discipline narrows your focus. It cuts out unnecessary reactions, conversations, and comparisons. What remains is clarity. Clarity sharpens presence. Presence is what others feel when you enter a room. This is why undisciplined people feel uneasy around disciplined minds. They are confronted with what they avoid in themselves. Your structure exposes their chaos without you saying a word. Discipline is not aggression, it is alignment, and alignment radiates a strength that needs no display. 5. Detachment makes you untouchable. Most people suffer not because of what happens to them, but because of what they cling to. They cling to approval, outcomes, recognition, and control over how others behave. This attachment makes them fragile. Anyone who can threaten what you cling to can threaten you. Stoic detachment is not indifference. It is clarity about what truly belongs to you. Your thoughts, your values, your actions are yours. Other people's opinions, moods, and decisions are not. The moment you accept this, your inner stability increases. Epictetus taught that freedom is not gained by getting what you want, but by wanting less of what you don't control. This idea feels uncomfortable because attachment often disguises itself as passion or care. But excessive attachment is dependency, and dependency invites manipulation. Think about situations where you felt anxious or defensive. Usually, there was something at stake that you didn't want to lose. Respect, validation, a relationship, or an outcome. When that attachment was threatened, your emotions reacted before your reason could respond. Detachment removes this trigger. When you stop needing a specific response from others, their behavior loses power over you. Silence becomes easier. Boundaries become clearer. You no longer negotiate your values to preserve comfort. This does not make you cold, it makes you consistent. Detachment also changes how people treat you. Those who relied on your neediness feel it immediately. They push less, test less, or disappear altogether. Those who value mutual respect adjust their behavior and stay. This natural filtering improves your relationships without confrontation. Stoic detachment is built through practice. You notice where your emotions spike and ask what you are attached to. You question whether that attachment serves your long-term character or just your short-term comfort. Then you consciously loosen your grip, not by suppressing feeling but by widening perspective. When you detach from outcomes, you focus more on process. When you detach from approval, you speak more honestly. When you detach from control, you adapt faster. This flexibility looks like confidence because it removes desperation from your behavior. People sense when you do not need them to behave a certain way. They feel that pressure is useless. Threats fall flat. Guilt loses effectiveness. You remain present without being entangled. That presence feels solid, even intimidating. Detachment also protects your energy. You stop replaying conversations and imagining different outcomes. You stop chasing closure that depends on someone else's explanation. You accept what is, learn what matters, and move forward. This mental economy frees attention for growth rather than rumination. A Stoic does not detach to escape life. They detach to engage with life clearly. Without emotional hooks pulling them in every direction, they choose their responses deliberately. This choice is what makes them hard to influence and impossible to control. When you no longer cling, nothing can be taken from you. That is not weakness. That is untouchable strength. 6. A strong mind needs no validation. Most people give away their power without realizing it. They look for approval in reactions, compliments, attention, and agreement. When validation becomes a need, it quietly turns into a leash. Anyone holding it can pull you off balance. A Stoic does not reject feedback. They reject dependence on it. There is a difference between learning and needing to be affirmed. One strengthens character, the other weakens it. Marcus Aurelius observed how strange it is that we value our own judgment less than the opinions of others. This habit creates inner noise. You start adjusting your behavior to be liked, understood, or accepted. Over time, you drift away from your own standards. That drift is what makes people easy to influence. When you no longer need validation, your behavior changes subtly but powerfully. You speak when it matters, not when it is safe. You act without announcing your intentions. You stop explaining your choices to people who are not affected by them. This quiet certainty feels different to others. People test those who seek approval. They push boundaries, offer conditional praise, or withdraw attention to see what happens. If you react, they learn how much control they have. If you remain steady, the test fails. Uncertainty replaces leverage. A Stoic builds inner approval through alignment. You decide what matters. You define your values. Then you act in accordance with them, regardless of applause or silence. Each time you do this, self-respect grows. Self-respect is not loud. It shows in posture, tone, and pacing. You don't rush to fill gaps. You don't argue to be right. You don't chase acknowledgement. People feel that you are not available for emotional bargaining. This makes some uncomfortable. Those who rely on validation feel exposed around someone who does not need it. They sense that praise will not buy influence and criticism will not create submission. This neutrality shifts the balance of power without confrontation. Letting go of validation also frees mental space. You stop replaying interactions, wondering how you were perceived. You stop editing yourself in advance. Your energy returns to execution and improvement rather than image management. Clarity replaces self-consciousness. Stoic strength comes from knowing your worth without broadcasting it. You don't need to convince others of who you are. Your consistency does that quietly over time. When words and actions align, explanation becomes unnecessary. This does not mean isolating yourself or becoming arrogant. It means choosing internal standards over external applause. Feedback becomes information, not identity. Praise becomes pleasant, not essential. Criticism becomes data, not a threat. A strong mind stands on its own judgment. It listens without bending. It improves without begging. It moves forward without asking permission. When validation is no longer your fuel, you become difficult to manipulate and impossible to steer. People sense that you are anchored internally. And nothing unsettles the insecure more than someone who knows who they are without needing approval. 7. When your mind is unshakable, people adjust. When your mind becomes stable, something subtle but powerful happens around you. You stop trying to manage how others see you, and they begin managing how they treat you. This shift is not intentional intimidation. It is a natural response to inner order. Most social tension exists because people are constantly negotiating power through emotion. They test limits, seek reactions, and look for leverage. When they realize those tactics no longer work on you, the game changes. Some step back, others step up with respect. A Stoic never demands respect. Demanding is already a sign of weakness. Instead, respect emerges when people sense consistency, boundaries, and self-control. They feel that drama will not move you. They notice that pressure does not rush you, and they adjust accordingly. This adjustment can look different depending on the person. Some become quieter around you. Some become more careful with their words. Some drift away entirely. None of this is a loss. It is alignment. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that he did not need to correct every wrong or respond to every offense. He understood that his role was to govern himself, not others. That mindset creates calm authority. You stop reacting to noise and start moving with intention. An unshakable mind also removes fear from social situations. You are not afraid of being misunderstood. You are not afraid of silence. You are not afraid of losing approval. This fearlessness is quiet, but it is felt. People sense when they cannot destabilize you emotionally. When you no longer chase connection, connection becomes selective. When you no longer chase validation, respect becomes cleaner. When you no longer chase control, influence becomes effortless. This is one of Stoicism's greatest paradoxes. The less you push, the more solid you become. Some people will interpret your stability as distance. That is fine. Others will recognize it as a strength. Those are the ones worth keeping close. A strong mind does not collect everyone. It attracts the right ones. Living this way requires courage. It means accepting that not everyone will understand you. It means choosing long-term character over short-term comfort. Stoicism never promised popularity. It promised freedom. When your mind is unshakable, you walk through situations without shrinking or posturing. You are present without tension, firm without aggression, clear without explanation. This presence reshapes the environment around you. People adapt to what they cannot bend. They respect what they cannot manipulate, and they move carefully around what remains calm under pressure. You do not need to announce your strength. You do not need to prove your discipline. When your mind is ordered, the world feels it, and without a word, people adjust. A strong mind is not built through noise, dominance, or emotional displays. It is built through discipline, restraint, and unwavering inner order. Stoic philosophy never promised a life without pressure. It offered something far more valuable: the ability to stand steady inside pressure. When you stop reacting, you reclaim control. When you master your emotions, you remove the leverage others hope to use against you. When you embrace silence, people reveal themselves without you needing to confront them. Discipline shapes your presence long before you ever speak. Detachment frees you from fear, and freedom is always felt by those around you. This is why a strong Stoic mind unsettles people. Not because it threatens them, but because it refuses to be influenced. It does not beg for approval or explain itself to feel safe. It moves calmly, deliberately, and with purpose. And in a world driven by impulse, that calm feels powerful. Stoicism is not about becoming cold or distant. It is about becoming sovereign. You still care, but you choose what deserves your energy. You still feel, but you decide how to respond. You still engage with the world, but on your own terms. As you train this mindset, relationships begin to change. Some people grow uncomfortable because their tactics no longer work. Others rise to meet you with respect and clarity. Both outcomes are useful. Stoicism filters your life without conflict or explanation. Building a mind like this takes consistency. It happens in small moments, when you pause instead of react, when you keep your word to yourself, when you choose silence over justification, when you act from principle rather than impulse. Over time, these moments compound. Your nervous system becomes calmer, your decisions become cleaner, your presence becomes heavier without becoming aggressive. People feel that you cannot be rushed, guilted, or pushed. This is the kind of strength that does not announce itself. It does not seek attention. It does not need validation. It stands firm whether others approve or not, and that is why it commands respect without asking for it. Remember, the goal is not to intimidate the world. The goal is to be so grounded that nothing outside you can destabilize what is inside. A mind like that does not fear chaos. It moves through it with clarity. If you commit to this path, you will notice a quiet transformation. Your reactions fade, your focus sharpens, your self-respect deepens, and without trying, you become someone people cannot easily shake. This is Stoic strength. Not loud, not aggressive, unbreakable.